Jewish tradition is, in Hebrew we say, Makdimim mechvod achsanya. We start, anytime we're asked to speak, by thanking the hosts. And tonight, it's more important than ever for me to actually say thank you to Dr. and Mr. Herman Roth because of the simply amazing activity. And I could tell you as a beneficiary of the activity, as somebody who has benefited for many years from your generosity, on behalf of all of the soldiers, thank you. Thank you very, very much. When I was a young soldier, the winter would enter your boots sometime around September. This year, it would have been around this week, December, but usually it would be around September. And you could not get the cold out of your feet until sometime at the beginning of March. It didn't matter if you were serving in Lebanon. This picture was taken. These are the last soldiers coming out of Lebanon in 2006. You can see the look on their faces, and the pride in carrying the flag and being the last men out. It didn't matter if you were serving in frigid Lebanon or up on the Herman mountain, if you were sleeping under a tank in order to try and get some warmth from the motor, and in hope that the driver would notice you were there. It didn't matter what you did. That cold stayed inside you. Thank God technology is improved, and people like yourselves care enough to come together once a year, several times a year, pool your funds together, and make sure that the young men and women have some of the equipment that the general infrastructure of the Army is not capable of providing for them. When you're buying a tank, or you're buying a plane, or you're buying another missile, the soldier, the young man or the young woman, the 18-year-old kid, and if we think about our own kids, where they are when they're 18 and 19, the equipment that we receive through the generosity of people like you is immeasurable. And I know every time I look at their faces, and every time we have an evening or a day and the sergeant shows up to come and get the equipment, and I'm going to show you some of the equipment in a moment. I forgot to put on my clock, so do I start my 8 minutes now? The look on their faces and say, well, we don't have that in our budget. And the ability to be able to say to them, well, it doesn't have to be in your budget because a bunch of great people in America got together in Brooklyn and they donated the money so that you could have it and that you could use it is simply tremendous. The look on their faces, the tears in their eyes, it's tremendous. Last week we went through a very difficult week, as everyone here knows. One of the units that you're going to be benefiting tonight is called Karakal. It's a very special unit. It's made up of men and women who serve on Israel's southern border with Egypt, one of the most difficult borders to serve on because it doesn't have a fence. And they drive through the desert day and night, and they try and stop any terrorists or any infiltrators that are coming in to harm Israeli citizens. 650 of these women were sent up to the Carmel Mountains to walk through the smoke and take kids and parents out of their homes and bring them to safety. You can imagine, just imagine what their uniforms smelled like when they came out of that fire. So we had to replace it. We replaced it immediately. And thanks to you, we'll also be able to fund the replacement. And we'll also be able to help units like the Air Force. The pilots get a lot of help. But the young men and women who help the pilots, who are standing on the tarmac, making sure the plane can fly and making sure the right missile is on the plane, they have to have our help.